Hey, welcome one, welcome all. Happy New Year. I think this is my first hosted live stream in the new year, so I haven't had a chance to wish you all a happy 2026. So, I just want to start off with hoping and wishing that all you guys have had a good holiday and are having a good New Year so far. Mine has been kind of busy. I'm trying to focus on getting this black and white book done, getting this business taken care of. That's what I'm doing, and a lot's been going on. So the pontificators always have a good take on what's happening in the world, especially in the realm of entertainment. So we are going to do our best. But I do have to say something. It's sad news. You guys ready? You ready for this? Okay. I had to fire everybody. So all the pontificators, they're all gone. Got rid of them. Just, I don't know. I just felt like they were holding me back. I felt like they weren't really bringing much to the pontificators, and all of them, even Todd Mulrooney, all of them, they're all gone, you guys. So it's just going to be me and this other guy for the rest of the duration of the pontificators. And when you have this guy that I'm going to announce, this guy, you don't need a group of people. You don't need a bunch of people chiming in, talking over each other, and all that kind of nonsense. You only need this one guy. And he's got a badass book that he's going to be dropping on you guys very, very soon. Man, that was a pretty good setup. All of that, except for the one guy I'm going to announce, all of that stuff is untrue. Those guys are great. Most everybody's sick. It is the time to be ill, I guess. So they wanted to be here, but most of them are close to death or dying. I can't stop. No, they're all okay. They're mending, and hopefully next week we'll have all of them. Let me see. We got leg kick. Leg kick 1. Hello, Art. Happy I am the first. Yeah. Hopefully you will not be the last. Feeling good, Art? Oh, of course. Yeah, those bunch of losers. Yeah. They're holding me back. And then of course, you just need Bob. No, I cut Bob loose first. He was the first guy to go. Because I don't know if you know Bob, but he gets lippy. He gets really lippy and testy. So those are the ones you got to make an example of and get those out first. But having said that, speaking of first, this guy, we originated this show probably 20, 30 years ago, just hanging out, having a good time with each other's company, hanging out with Chester Busby III, and Pontificators was born. So let's get this guy in. Wish him a New Year's. Todd Mulrooney, what's up, my friend?
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Can you hear me good? Because I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah. Okay. You okay?
I'm great.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I had good, New Year and good Christmas. How about yourself?
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. We had nothing planned. My wife and I, it was just going to be, an empty nest Christmas. And we ended up just bopping into people and bumping into people. And they had nothing. They had nothing going for the holidays as well. So we just invited them over and offered them free food. And the next thing you know, we got like 8 people here, all hanging out, drinking, making merry, eating and enjoying each other's company. So it was great.
Nothing beats that, really.
Right. It just kind of happened. So it was a really nice Christmas and New Year and all that other good stuff. I should probably get this guy in. because he is the new star of the show, right? Right, Todd? I mean, you and I are like the hosts. Like we're not the star per se, but we get people in, and we just got to give them a platform to shine, right? That's all we do.
True. That's kind of true.
Yeah, we're just givers. That's all we do is we have pontificators, we get people on here, and then we just give them a platform to just, shine. A lot of them creative, got new books coming out, stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, that reminds me of a line.
Okay.
It just reminded me of a line. So when you're in a bar and you see around Christmas, you see someone wearing elf ears, and you go up to that person and say, "Hey, I heard you're Santa's favorite elf." I said, "Yeah, I am. How'd you know?" You say, "Oh, I know, because next year I'm Santa."
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah. Well, let's see if Darren Wagner agrees. Was that a good one, Darren?
That was a good one. Yes, I think that might get you laid somewhere.
Possibly. Yeah. So, like Todd just came in last minute. All I hear was from Darren just like bagging on you and just saying all kinds of horrible stuff. And I'm thinking there might be a little bit of a rift between you two.
All I said was that Todd is so unlikable that even Hello Kitty says goodbye to him.
Oh my goodness!
Those words they cut to the quick, don't they?
Oh yeah.
You know what, Darren? As long as I've been around, I've never heard a Hello Kitty joke ever.
That cat is waving goodbye. It's not waving hi, right?
Yeah.
You know the one. Or is it doing this actually? What is it doing?
I don't know. I don't know what you're doing, Todd. Like, that's the thing about Todd.
It's like a fortune cookie cat. It's like a fortune cookie cat, and it's in like every restaurant, and it's just sits there and does this. I think. I don't know. He's probably been there. He works top secret stuff.
Actually, Darren does work top secret stuff.
Used to. I used to. Yeah.
Now he just gets the dirt on all the CG guys behind the scenes. That's how Darren plans to get to the top, right, Darren?
You know what's funny though?
Yeah, blackmail. Sure, whatever.
Here's something ironic, right? All the people I know that used to do top secret stuff all look like Darren looks like now. I don't know why.
It's the witness relocation thing. They encourage you to like grow out the beard and stuff, and it becomes hard to identify. And you know what? The honest thing is, Darren always does the black and white thing. You know why he does that? Because he doesn't want us to know what his real skin color is.
I don't want you to see that mulatto nature of my.
Yeah, he's hiding. He's hiding his Brazilian heritage. Man, we are on fire, you guys. You guys tweet this thing out. We need to get some people in here, man. We are on fire. This is what happens when we don't go live for, how long has it been? Like a month?
Over a month, I think.
Yeah.
All right. How
would you guys say that? Anonymity? Unknown. How would you say this?
Anonymity.
Anonymity. Oh, okay. Midity.
Anonymity.
T. Yes.
Yeah.
2681. Man, it's in the future somewhere. All right. Well, hey, welcome all you guys. And always chime in the chat because we got a lot to talk about. We always like your feedback and things like that. And I just have to say really, really quick, Darren's got a kick-ass book, and he's going to be launching it tomorrow. So we're going to be talking about it a little bit on the show, just give you a little bit of a tease and stuff like that. We got a lot to go over. I wanted to get the chat's take and you guys on Scott Adams, and Marvel has dropped these Doomsday trailers, and I just want to talk about their angle. Like, what are they doing? Like, why are they going in these directions and stuff like that? But anyways, we can get in on that. Oh man, we got some people. We got tell him 29 shalom G2C2 all. Yeah, and look at Randy Howe already earning his keep. Twist stream, yes, hop on there, you guys. Retweets. I don't know who this guy is. I'm just gonna ignore him. Randy's got the Demi-Foot Urban Sasquatch link there. So, is this for the sign up? Is that what you're doing, Darren?
Well, the sign up is right now built into the campaign page. When the campaign goes live, I will of course take down the sign up link inside of it, and so yeah, that's for the sign up, but it's also the page. So that's one of the nice things about Fund My Comic is it's sort of a one-stop shop. You have one page for the sign up, or one page for everything, and then when it goes live, you just remove the sign up link.
Yeah, you guys use that share button, hit the like and subscribe. All right, you guys. I don't know if you were a fan of Scott Adams and Dilbert, but he passed, R.I.P. And I have to admit, I always knew about it, but most of that stuff was office humor, right? All the Dilbert stuff was. Yeah. And I remember reading some of it, but it just it wasn't my thing. But the guy became more on my radar when he started his podcasts, and he started speaking about just things in general. And of course, his passing and his farewell letter really hit me hard. And I wanted to read. I'm not going to read all of it. I read the whole thing last night on the Professionals. And if you guys don't know, Professionals are going Rumble. We're rumbling now. So if you haven't, you know what? I'll put a link, or maybe Randy Howe can put a link. So go over there and sign up for the Rumble, the Professionals Rumble page. And we're doing that because we kind of want to branch out and speak more from the heart, and just kind of, I guess more political, more, things that are a little edgy, cutting, stuff like that. So we wanted to kind of branch out a little bit. So that's why Rumble, and the reason we're doing it on Rumble is because YouTube can't touch us. So that's the whole thing. YouTube is really clamping down a lot of these things. So we wanted freedom, and so we're going to try to build that thing up. So if you guys like it, we aired the first episode yesterday, last night. So it's up right now, no charge. So go check it out, and if you like it, sign up for the page, give it a like, tweet it out, and help get the word out. All these things are always guerrilla marketing. Our comic books, our websites, all of that stuff, our YouTube channels. So
where do we got to get our subscriber count for you to want to do that with us?
Well, I think as soon as if we have YouTube coming down on us more, so maybe if you said some more like outlandish things, Todd, maybe if YouTube started putting some heat on us, then we could start exploring other platforms. What do you think?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Darren.
So just to verify, Professionals is no longer going to be on YouTube. It's not a simulcast. It's going to be exclusive on Rumble.
No, it's not exclusive. It's just it's the same name, same group of guys, but the content's going to be different. So it's going to be a little edgier, less guarded, less gated, that type of thing. So Billy likes the F word. Billy Tucci likes the F word. So on Rumble, he can drop it as much as he wants.
That's a Navy word, It's a Navy term. No. So no longer on YouTube, exclusively on Rumble. Then?
No, we're on both platforms. So we're still doing our weekly YouTube. What we were thinking of doing initially is that we would put that up on Rumble, later. But we're still kind of playing with the platform. We might just do 2 shows a week. You know what I mean? We might do the YouTube show every Tuesday at 8 Eastern. And then we might do, we don't know yet. We're still kind of making stuff up as we go along. That's the best part about this job, man. I don't know if you guys know, but I mean, we can go anywhere. We can do anything. We don't work for a corporation. And I like that freedom. And as long as you can have an idea, work towards it, you can manifest things and make them happen.
They are fungal, right? I can swear with the best of them. So I don't know why you would.
You just made that up, right? Just a made up word.
No, that's not made up.
Yeah, it is.
Phenobola.
Darren says it's made up, so therefore it's made up. Darren is my go-to. Everything.
Stop.
I think he knows Italian.
I know what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
I know pisciadillo.
You got to do the gesture though, don't you?
All the Italian I know is from watching Sopranos episodes.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, if you're gonna learn it from there.
Wasn't his boat named the Fungal or something like that?
No, it was Stugats, which is Italian for D's nuts, I think it is, or something.
Is it?
No,
D's
no,
nuts. Yeah.
It's not D's nuts. No.
Oh, it's something like that. It's something like that.
Yeah, you guys, Randy's on it, so click that link over to Rumble, sign up, and taking care of business every day.
Twice the professionals every week is good for me. That's my. I like the Kings show, of course, especially with the draw streams. But then the professionals would be my second favorite show that I'm not on.
Yeah, people seem to like it. Yeah. And but anyways, so what I have, I'm going to read Scott Adams just so we have some context, and then see if you guys have any insight, if you were fans of him, just any thoughts on him. Let me see. Where am I? I want to click. What do I want to click? This screen share. Boop, 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 doop, doop. This is Scott's X account. And hopefully you guys can see this. This is a final message from Scott Adams. And I'm going to read it up to where that line is, because this is the most impactful stuff. And I find it interesting. And I'm a guy that's still trying to figure out like religion and where I stand with all this stuff. So I thought this was really interesting. So it says, if you are reading this, things did not go well for me. I have a few things I'd like to say before I go. My body failed before my brain. I am of sound mind as I write this, January 1st, 2026. If you wonder about any of my choices for my estate or anything else, please know I am free of any coercion or inappropriate influence of any sort. I promise. Next, many of my Christian friends have asked me to find Jesus before I go. I'm not a believer, but I have to admit the risk-reward calculation for doing so looks attractive. So here I go. I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I look forward to spending an eternity with him. The part about me not being a believer should be quickly resolved if I wake up in heaven. I won't need any more convincing than that. And I hope I am still qualified for entry. With your permission, I'd like to explain something about my life. And then he talks about family, relationships, his books, his podcasts. And basically, in a nutshell, he says that he's basically tried to leave the world a better place, to help out his fellow man, things like that. And so I found it quite inspirational. And we're all going to be faced with the ultimate goodbye at some point. And I just think you can learn a lot about how somebody lived their lives and who they are by the way they go out. And I said a lot on Rumble last night about my dad and how he went out. and he showed me a lot. He taught me a lot, a lesson. And the man had cancer. He battled it for a long time. Before that, he had a major heart attack, and he was set up for the donor. He was on the donor list for a replacement heart, and that's when they found the cancer. So he had like 2 or 3 years of just hell on earth. Just going back and forth, and probably being scared to death every moment of his life. But you know what? He never let on. He never ever let on that he didn't feel good or anything. So every time we went over there, it was like, he was upbeat, everything. And I remember one year, they weren't really gonna celebrate Christmas because he wasn't doing well, and my mom was getting up there too. And so our daughter was around 4 or 5. So we got a Christmas tree and the decorations, and we just drove over there and we set up everything. And I remember we came in, and I said, "Mom, where's Dad?" He's sleeping. That's what you do a lot when you're starting to go. And so then he must have heard the hullabaloo, and so he came down the hall, and I could see him from my point of view. And as he's walking down the hall, he's like the guy that's sick. But then as he gets closer to the living room where the tree and my daughter and Pamela and I were, he just kind of came to life. And for the hour or so that we were there, it was just amazing. And I knew that that's not how he felt, but that's what he projected out. And like I said, he never complained once about his situation. He never said it was unfair. He never said anything. He just kind of went along with it and was always as upbeat as you could be in that situation. And so I did. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about, being faced with stuff and how to be honorable, how to make the best of your last days, and, all that stuff. So I don't know, for some reason, like when I read that, Scott Adams and his wife read that letter as well on his podcast. And so I don't know, I think it just kind of hit home because of that. So anyway, I want to see what you guys thought of Scott Adams and his comic strip. Todd.
First, look, it's been a long time since a paper even came into into our household. So I wasn't one of those people that said, "Oh, I'm missing Garfield, or I'm missing this. I wasn't like that. But prior to that, whenever I had a paper in my hand, it's kind of what I looked for, because there was a few things I was always looking for. Is what's his name? Larry Lieber still drawing Spider-Man?
Okay.
Because I was fascinated by that. Like, this guy's old. He's still drawing Spider-Man. Was it Drake Young? What was his name? The guy that also worked in comics, but it's not really well known. He drew Blondie and he drew a couple other ones. But he did an issue. I have an issue of Spider-Man that he did and stuff like that. So I always looked to see if this guy was still working. Now, sometimes it would say something like the creator of Blondie was this guy, but it's being drawn by Stan Drake, I think his name was, maybe. So yeah, those are things I looked for. Now, I read them. I read Dilbert and stuff, but I wouldn't say it was my favorite. But nobody who did something similar to that, right? You become sort of a pseudo celebrity or whatever. You're kind of beloved. Your character's beloved. It crosses into merchandise, stuff like that. No one should be remembered for their worst day. Because when you're a student, think about back in the day when you did something wrong. You don't want the teacher to always be thinking about you as, oh, that's the guy that stole the engine out of the repair shop room or whatever. You know what I mean? So, not that I did that. That's not what I'm saying. But you get what I mean. You don't want to be remembered for your worst day or this thing. First off, I don't think anyone should ever label somebody. If he's not labeling himself a something, then you shouldn't be allowed to label somebody a this or that. It's like,
I completely agree. And just to backpedal, yeah, it was Stan Drake. There were a lot of artists. So the Alex Raymond, Jim Raymond, Paul Fung Jr., Mike Gersher, Stan Drake, and Dennis Lieburn, and Jeff Parker. And 2005 was John Marshall. So this strip had been going since 38. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify. Yeah, you're right. That was a good call, Stan Drake.
So, I'll just kind of sum it up. It's today that we know everybody's opinion, but it wasn't when I was young. I don't know what Charles Schultz was.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just don't know. He may have said it in his work, but I didn't read every day either.
Right.
So I would hate to go back and think, oh, you didn't, like someone tell me, oh, you didn't know that so-and-so was a this or that. Did that matter? That's not why they're beloved to me.
Are you kind of getting at the fact that Scott Adams had been accused of saying something racist, and then the liberal community kind of crucified him for that? Yeah.
You should go to one of my Facebook posts where I got on Bill Sienkiewicz, which I like to do, by the way, but that's because it's the idea of, if you don't think like me, you're bad.
Right.
I really can't stand that, because that's that's not the case.
But yeah, I mean, just to your point, I forget her name, but she's getting blasted now. People Magazine. What did she say? Scott Adams,
Dilbert creator is how she called it. People Magazine said disgraced Dilbert cartoonist is what I think. Called him.
I think there's class, and there's decorum, and I just think the place to do it or say it isn't when somebody just passed, and I think it's not really news how you think about the Dilbert artist. It's the fact that he had passed on. That's the news. It's not that he was whatever you thought he was.
Right.
And from what I understand, it was all kind of BS anyways. It wasn't even his point of view. It was just something that he had read or something like that. And then, it does, these minor infractions can just have a life of their own,
It's kind of ironic that his cartoon was about cubicle and office, because in an office, we seem to forget that you could work in a building where it had a floor with a bunch of cubicles. Half the people in there would be Republican. Half the people in there would be Democrats. So people like Bill Sienkiewicz forget that, hey, we used to run down the center, and we used to look at each other like humans. Just absolutely forget that. And I'm really it's like I'm getting, the older I get and the more time I spend around social media, I'm getting angry, because it's not Judgment Book. It didn't create itself, or whoever created didn't make it to be like, hey, all of you get to be judge, jury, and executioner to anybody you want to be. It's for.
Anyways, Randy, thank you. It was Victoria Adele. I think that's the People Magazine person that wrote that pretty shameful jab at a man that has passed. That probably has more depth of character than she will ever have. Go ahead, Darren.
Yeah. Well, that article was written days or weeks before he died. They had plenty of time to catch that beforehand. And so, I mean, this wasn't a hastily constructed or executed article. And, the thing about their controversy with him was he was commenting on the racism that he saw. And because it was directed at a group that the left has decided to historically, chaperone, if you will, that's that they immediately counter accused. If you ever want to know what the left is up to, just listen to what they're accusing the right of doing. That's basically it. What he was commenting on was a study that said that think it was over 60% of Black Americans who were asked, "Is it okay to be white?" said no. And he says, "Well, then we need to avoid black people then, because if the majority of them are saying it's not okay to be white, we need to protect ourselves and try to maintain our distance." And that was his. He was basically commenting overall on the absurdity of the whole thing and what it actually means, and they, do what they do. They reflected back on him and say he was racist for saying that, for commenting on their racism, basically.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he didn't take the survey. He had nothing to do with that. He was just kind of, a third party observer that, since it's his show, his podcast, then he gave his take on it. And that's what we're doing right now. And the thing is, I that's why I'm in the culture war, and that's why I talk and say these things, because it's okay to have difference in opinion. It's okay, to even be passionate about your point of view. But these people, they want blood. They go deeper than that. They want you to pay somehow, like whether it's to lose your job or to lose your credibility or whatever it is. And that is the unique aspects to what's going on right now, is the fact that it's no longer you have a point of view, I have a point of view, we're both passionate about it. Let's see if we can find a middle ground. And if we can't, then we'll agree to disagree, which was what everybody used to say, I'll agree to disagree and we'll just go on, our different, directions and believe what we want to believe. And I knew that early on when I heard you want to be on the right side. So when I first started kind of getting the culture war, hanging out, CG, that stuff, my friends, who I thought were my friends, were it seemingly like they were trying to help me, like, you want to be on the right side of history and things like that. And they actually said right side of history. And I'm not a dope. And I was like, how the hell do you be on the right side of history? Like, how could you even say that? Like, it makes no sense. Like, history is written years later. Like, it's history. It's not happening right now. It will become history, but it's not history right now. So you want to be on the right side of history. How do you know that you're on the right side? Like, and then I was just thinking, it's a very arrogant thing to say. And this is before, the shit really hit the fan. So I'm talking about like 8-9 years ago or whatever. And it always struck me as like a very arrogant thing to say. Like, how can you say that with any kind of confidence? Because you don't know. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know if you're on the right. You might be on the wrong side of history, for all history knows, like, history gets to write its story, not you. And if you think about it, like, that early, like, confrontation or brush with it describes them to a T, where they are, like you said, Darren, they're like convinced that they're right all the time. Like, they can't do any wrong. And so therefore, they won't even debate it with you. They'll just shut you down. So they don't want to talk anymore. They're so convinced that they're right and that you're wrong that all they do is figure out ways to cheat. They don't want to get into a debate. They don't want to get into a conversation, because most likely they're going to get their asses kicked.
Yeah, they don't want to run the risk of actually losing some sort of debate or structured argument. They're so convinced of their moral superiority that there's no room to negotiate with them, and that's where they go. They then seek to silence. And
it's a dangerous thing, because these accusations, they're pretty hardcore. I mean, I could not believe. I know Jimmy Kimmel is Jimmy Kimmel. I grew up, in LA County, Southern California, and there was a morning show, K-Rock, it was Kevin and Bean, and he was the news guy on there. and he brought Adam Carolla in and all that stuff. So I saw that stuff happening in real time, right? So I was always like, Jimmy Kimmel's one of my guys. You know what I mean? It's like you get to see him kind of come up from nothing and develop all this stuff, and then the Man Show and all these things. And then, you know, recently, what was it, earlier this week, you know, he has this T-shirt. This did happen, right? Where he holds the T-shirt up and it said, Trump will kill you, not may kill you. His policies may kill you. Or it was said, Trump will kill you. And I was like, holy shit. This guy's
irresponsible.
It's also, it's really difficult because we're all older and we came from a different time, and we didn't spend time ever. I can't think of a time in my life where I ever spent time dogging a sitting president. You know, I really wasn't that into it to spend time even just saying it to other people. It wasn't a topic that somehow we ended up here. And I'm not saying I'm not guilty of it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we lived in a time we cherish, because once the guy was there, after inauguration day, you were oblivious to an extent. I'm not saying you didn't look at a policy or an act that was signed or whatever and go, oh, that's an old child left behind. I don't know how that's going to work out, whatever. But what I'm saying is we didn't spend our time going, motherfucker, how dare he? Ever. And
the thing that I think is different now. I mean, we all.
For you, by the way, I swore.
What's that?
I swore for you on purpose.
Oh well, thank you. I'm glad. I hope you drop a couple more while the show goes on. But the thing is, it's like I know there's personality. Like sometimes you just don't like somebody because of the way they are, right? You go, I just don't like that guy, right? You don't really have any definition or reason. You just don't like them, right? So that's always okay as far as I'm concerned. But as far as I don't know, the president or whatever, I always found it more constructive to go, you know, his policies. Like you don't have to make it personal. It's not necessarily personal. It's like a policy that you don't like or this that you don't like. But to make these blanketed statements that he's Hitler or that he's a fascist or whatever these things are, it just is fundamentally untrue. Like it's not even close to being factual. He's not those things. He's obviously not those things. You can say, well, I don't like him or I don't like his policies. That's fine. But these other things, they really do just try to create these images like that this guy is not just this guy I don't like, which is fine, but that he's evil somehow. Like he's beyond, you know, any of these other things. And that is just, that's unhinged, man. That to me is like, maybe you should be seen as a psychiatrist.
There's the other aspect of that. This blows my mind that people forget the history we lived through. We're looking at a guy who said, I'm going to do this. He won. He's doing it. But you forget about the guy that only, 12, 14, 15 years ago did it en masse, 3 million people. Trump's not up to that. He's not even close to that yet. But you're acting like, oh, he's because his name and who he is, he's the boogeyman. But you forget that Obama did it. He did it en masse. His nickname was Deporter in Chief.
And there's the Clintons on record saying similar things. You know, I mean, it's, you know what? I live in Southern California. This immigration debate has been going on since I was old enough to understand it. It's just kind of like it's a political go-to, like abortion. You know what I mean? Like every so often these things come up, and then the politicians get up and they pontificate on these topics and don't really do anything about it. But I do find one of the most interesting things about Donald Trump is when he says he's going to do something, he seems to do it. And And I find that very refreshing. Like you said, Darren, this is what we voted for.
Right.
So he's just doing what we voted him in to do. And I think it's absolutely amazing. And I find like personally, I kind of don't like Trump's personality, but there's sometimes when he has these speeches and he says these things, I find inspiration in him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where it comes from, because I'm thinking this guy's just kind of a schmuck. And then all of a sudden he says, fight, 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 or whatever the hell it is, right? And then all of a sudden you're just like, man, I'm glad that guy's the president. I mean, I feel good about being an American right now.
I've said it a lot. He's not great on his feet. When he goes from that Oval Office door out to the helicopter, you don't know what he's going to say. And it's always been a little bit childish. Like, my team is better than your team because I play for it. And I've said that before. You've heard me say that. But I don't mind that the people like, hey, he's just trolling you, and you're going to react to it. So that aspect of him, the chess and checkers thing, I kind of like, because he does do that.
Yeah.
He does say he's going to do something, and and then people never, like, they look at him and go, why does he want Greenland? Well, because of the top of the globe, the ice used to hang over on this side. Now it's switched and it's hanging over that side. Now there's shipping lanes opening up, and if we're not there,
that's part of it. Yeah.
If we don't get there first and say, hey, we're going to control this, someone else will, and it won't be it'll be to our detriment.
Yeah. America first, right?
I'll tell you a story here. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the VA clinic to get a test done. It's not serious. It was a routine old man test, as I like to call them. And, when you walk into any government building, including the VA clinic, you normally see a portrait of the current president flanked by the vice president and the secretary of what was called war, then defense, now war again. And, of course, I walk in and I had to laugh because Trump's official presidential portrait for this term is his mugshot. So you have smiling J.D. Vance on one side, you have smiling Hegseth on the other, and in the middle you have this menacing, scowling figure looking at you. And I had to laugh. I just loved it. And I asked one of the nurses, I'm like, so whose decision was it to use his mugshot for the? He goes, that is what he wants. That's what they sent to all the government buildings. It was somebody took the mugshot and touched it up a little bit. Obviously they added some color to it and stuff like that, made it, but it's his mugshot. He's just, it reminds me of Marine Corps portraits. A lot of people don't know this. Marines are not allowed to smile for portraits when they're in their uniform. They have to stare down the camera and be aggressive. That's what it reminds me of. And I get a kick out of that.
Yeah, he owns it. He owns it, and he just kind of moves into it. And by doing stuff like that, it's hard to get an upper hand on him. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't care, and he will make light of it and things like that. And I really do believe that he will go down as one of the better presidents
definitely
that we have had. And to me, I think he's the most inspirational president that I can remember. I mean, when I was a little kid, I was like, President Nixon, he's cool, or whatever it was.
Well, yeah.
But
a friend of mine who's my age, we asked, well, which president is in our lifetime is the coolest? And it came down to Reagan and Trump, and it's like, I can't give you an answer between those two right now. I have to wait and see until it's all over. But right now they're neck and neck. I mean, as far as I
think if Trump can finish the 3 years he still has, and he can be just as as president as he is now, I think it might go down better than even the Reagan years. I mean, Reagan did kick ass, and I think for me, growing up in Southern California, there was they were anti-Reagan, even though he was from Southern California. But if you think about what he did and what he accomplished, was bringing Russia basically to their knees, and he destroyed them without a gun fire,
Yeah.
without a bullet, shot,
Mhm.
and destroyed them economically. And it was close. It was tough, but you know what? He did it. And I think I don't think anybody really talks about it that clearly. That this was some scary times. These guys were, the big bad, and that they were both playing with fire, but I mean, hindsight, you look back and you go, well, it worked out pretty good, for us. And yeah, I think that Trump is even smarter than Reagan because he's getting involved, and the media is trying to, like, oh well, he's declaring war or he's doing whatever. When he went in and got what was the terrorist in Venezuela?
Yeah, yeah. The
Oh,
guy who was
Maduro.
posing, yeah, Maduro,
Enduro,
who was
yeah.
posing as he wasn't the recognized leader. He wasn't the elected president. He was just, he just basically took
Yeah,
over. And
but the
and
thing
yeah,
is, like, he went in there and got that guy and is
yeah,
bringing him to justice. He didn't declare war on that region. He didn't
no,
go in
no,
like an army and go in and start, blowing shit up. He went in and got that guy and got him out and is bringing him to justice. And I mean, the left is saying, oh well,
yeah,
he's declared war, on Venezuela. But he
no,
didn't.
no,
But that's kind of what they're used to. That's usually how
right,
these things go. And I
mhm,
just think that Trump is smarter than that. Like blowing up
yeah,
who's was it, the nuclear facility. It's just like single acts that make so much difference. And also, I think his strategy is all connected. You know what I mean? Like his America First stuff. If you see them, they're kind of connected
Right.
with the outside, world. And I think he's a smart ass dude. What was that,
oh
Todd?
yeah,
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say some of why he looks so good in that way you're talking is basically because of some of the things that have gone on prior to him. You got to admit that some of the things are
mhm,
like more scary than people realize
mhm,
when you find out that 500,000 military age Chinese males may have
mhm,
crossed that border
mhm,
and we don't know where they are,
mhm,
or children are lost and we don't know where they are.
right,
You know what I mean? That
mhm,
shit to me is really, really scary. That's
right,
war again for you. So I'm okay with it. I voted for that, and I'm willing
mhm,
to admit that. I
yeah,
understand there's another aspect. There's a darker aspect underneath all of this. Because I
mhm,
asked this question on Facebook: who can commit a crime currently in the United States? Who can commit a crime, leave their DNA behind, and
mhm,
still never get caught?
right,
And the answer to that, and I didn't give this away yet on Facebook, so anyone wants to go and put
mhm,
the answer there, is a illegal alien who has no other family member that has committed a crime on U.S. soil. So
mhm,
we use trace DNA evidence and stuff like that. So that person who has no family member that ever committed a crime here can get away with a crime. Now,
mhm,
the other thing that is part of that is if they also didn't get COVID tested, because a lot of
right,
people like to say, oh, they didn't trace our DNA with COVID, it was only RNA. It's a bunch of bull because a lot of COVID stuff is a lie. And I do think
mhm,
all you need is here's another thing, a little tidbit of information to have the genealogical profile, DNA profile of every person on the planet. You only need 2% of everybody. So you get 2%, and you have every single person. And that's why
mhm,
they're finding all these cold cases are 40 years old, because they go back in and they go, oh,
mhm,
this DNA matches this person. Now, this is not the person that did the killing.
Right.
mhm,
It's like a cousin, or
mhm,
you know what I mean? And they go, okay, we just need to learn about that person. And they don't even have to
mhm,
talk to that person. They just need to figure out, okay, how can we find out who they're related to? And then eventually they get to some idea of, okay, now we'll go talk to them and see if they can tell us about their family history. And people are so willing to tell them, hey, the guy you're looking for may be an uncle of mine. And
mhm,
you may have three uncles. So then they go and they go, which uncle could it be? And then I watched one the other day where they pretended to be a bus boy. The undercover cop put on the uniform, was the bus boy. Got DNA out of the trash, and they figured exactly who the guy was that killed somebody 40 years ago and got him. Doesn't have to be you. It just has to be somebody you're related to. So don't leave your DNA behind. That's the bad thing. No, I'm kidding. But it's crazy how
I leave my DNA everywhere.
So some of there's always a darker element under some things, and some of this is to make sure, because everybody we put in detention or grab, we get a DNA swab of. Every single person. It doesn't matter. So now we're building a CODIS of illegal aliens.
Right. Well, it used to be fingerprints. That was the big thing. Is they even had like campaigns to fingerprint children. Things like that, so that they would have record of people's fingerprints, things like that. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into procedural, that
No,
stuff.
I didn't mean to go there, but I just wanted people to realize that sometimes this is the guy we needed for now. I always think like that sometimes, is we wouldn't have done well if we had Kamala Harris right now. We needed this guy for what we're going through right now. You look at Dearborn, Michigan, and all that. This is a freaking mess. So rather, it's like remember when Ethan used to say, "I'll take all the hits and arrows and stones and rocks." This is the guy that we needed right now, because he knows how to do that. And you may not like that.
It's like I used to watch these presidential debates, years ago. I can never remember presidents or years or any of that stuff, but it was, up till Trump, and these Republicans would go in and they would get pretty much their ass handed to them in debates. And I always thought, well, a lot of them did. And they would play the racist cards, the race card.
Sure.
And they would do certain things. And all of these things were predictable, because I would watch these things and I go, he's going to say this to you. He's going to challenge you with this, and then he's going to call you names. Like what they do is they get you on the defensive, right? So they call you out, they make an accusation, and then you have to play defense, or they play offense. And then all you could do is defend whatever, and you always sound weak. You always flounder. It's like you hate black people. Oh no, I don't. I got black friends here. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
And so Trump was that guy that they tried to do those tactics with, and he would throw it back. He wouldn't even answer. He'd throw it back, and it's like that whole thing with Hillary Clinton. If I was president, you'd be in jail or whatever he said. I was like, dude, you just won. That's what they do to you. That's what they do to the Republicans. You know what I mean?
Right.
These accusations. And he said it the way he said it, and everything. It just had it resonated. It was funny. It was kick-ass. It was all those things. And then all of a sudden you just go, all right, that's what we should have had all those other years prior. A Republican, because I always thought like, do you want to win? Like, I always thought all these other Republicans didn't want to win, because I was like, they will ask you these things. They will accuse you of these things. Like, it's their game plan. And I was like, how do you not know this? I know this stuff. How do you not know it? And then Trump goes in and he's like, I'm not going to play the game. I'm not going to play the game. And he went in there and he kicked their ass. He played their game better than they played their game.
The thing that impressed me was when he was going to have that debate with Hillary Clinton, and he knew that she was going to try to bring up his philandry, and so what did he do? He put like all 4 Bill Clinton accusers in the front row, front and center in front of Hillary Clinton and she didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing is, then we get to Democrats, 2026, and they don't even care anymore. Like that doesn't even have any impact.
No.
Like I've heard Trump and his administration, and I've said this to some of these Democrats as far as the Epstein files and all this stuff, and they're like, Trump's a pedophile and he's afraid to release this and that and the other thing.
Right.
I will admit that Pam Bondi made some major missteps, and they shouldn't have promised some of the stuff that they did. But anyway, the biggest argument against it is like, okay, Biden had access to it before Trump did. Biden could have released that stuff at any time. If there was an election, it was election year, Biden could have destroyed Trump with it. If there was something that he could use, he would have brought it up and he would have destroyed him. Even if he was as weak as he was and all that other stuff, the frailty, if he would have brought that up, he would have won. I'm convinced of that. But the thing is, there's a couple things. Okay, either Trump wasn't in any of those files or videos or whatever, okay, or Biden or somebody that Biden wants to protect is in there as well as Donald Trump. So either way, neither one of those two want this stuff out there because it's going to incriminate. And I think that Trump even said it. It's going to incriminate, whatever that word is, a lot of innocent people. They're going to be people that are going to be brought up and stuff like that are just innocent or whatever. So the thing is, my thing is with the Epstein, just to sum it up, I didn't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but just to sum it up, it's like, if you're going to do this, then just file criminal charges against individuals. Like, oh, this guy was this, do the research on him and then hit him with charges and then have trials. Like you have access to the list. You don't have to make the whole list public, but you can start going after people on that list, which I haven't seen them attempt to do, really.
Yeah, I think he's hiding. Or he might be, if he is hiding it. It's because he knows that there's a destabilizing effect it'll have. I mean, there's other world leaders who are there too. I mean, one member of the royal family had to abdicate his membership in that royal family because of that whole scandal. That's probably just the tip of the iceberg, but we don't know. And do I think that Epstein's dead? I don't know. Officially, he is. So,
right? He can't be tried.
Yeah,
he's gone.
The Epstein thing is one of the least things I'm concerned about, though.
Same. But I just want to read Randy's real quick. The Clintons refused. Like, they got a subpoena to go, in front of the Senate, and they just flat out refused. Like, I didn't know that was an option, right? Like, I'm just not going to.
I mean, imagine if you or I tried to do that. I mean, it's like,
we'd be in jail. Yeah. Do you? Let's do this real quick. Darren's got this campaign, and it's Demifoot, and it's going to launch tomorrow. So let's hear a little bit about Demifoot.
All righty. So, suffering from a compression accident while serving as a Navy diver, Jake Yeager undergoes an experimental cure to restore his damaged body and now exists as a hybrid, combining the best aspects of man and Bigfoot. So, he's a Demifoot. Now he must, survive as a monster among men while satisfying his Sasquatch instinct to destroy evil wherever he finds it. The man within the monster was a freewheeling thrill seeker and an heir to a 19th century lumber baron family, but now he's a stealthy behemoth living on the outskirts of society and walking the line between our world and an unseen world of living folklore and super science. In his debut issue, we're going to learn who he is and what malevolent forces brought him to this new altered state. So at this point, we're gonna follow Jake Yeager as he gets his bearings and prepares for an all-out war on three fronts: fighting fellow monsters, supervillains and the shadowy organization that's dedicated to keeping the existence of cryptids like him the stuff of frauds and hoaxes.
So he has his brain is intact. So he's got the same intellect that he had before the accident.
He does, although he is having to contend with some of the hormonal changes, okay. So I've been studying Sasquatch encounters and interviews with people who say they've had encounters for years, and one of the things that you can't come away from not thinking is that that the actual Sasquatch is a very deliberate sort of creature. It doesn't have like an inner monologue. It feels something and it does something. So he's got a little bit of that to contend with, but he still has his human faculties and personality. It is very much like, if I had to compare him to another character, I guess I would compare him to the Thing, Ben Grimm, maybe Swamp Thing, at least the original version, or the not the House of Secrets version, but the Swamp Thing #1 original version, where he's so
he can
scientist.
use logic and reason and
yes, yeah. In fact, in his first adventure, as cool as his Sasquatch powers are, he will have to rely on that human intelligence in order to succeed. So this comic book is illustrated by John Dillard of The Buckler and Mighty Golden Patriot, I guess, was his last big thing. And by the way, I do want to mention that we're going to have a 24-hour trading card by the flawless one, Dan Lawless. That's what I'm showing right now. Lovely trading card that he
looks awesome, man.
He designed, man. Yeah, he has gravitas, that guy. And so does John Dillard, by the way. I think this is some of his best work he's ever produced. And
that piece is just it's amazing. And like I've said before, that one. It's iconic. Like that's hard to do, so that image does define the character. Like every time I think of Demifoot, I think of this image.
Yeah, a lot of creators will want to have more than one cover. I said for this first issue, I want to go for as iconic as we can. And some people may argue with me on this, but I think you can't really have an iconic cover if there's more than one cover. Yeah, you're going to have one that's more popular than the others. Usually that happens. But I really wanted to have that one singular cover to define the character just this time. I mean, if we get to a second issue, yeah, there'll be multiple covers. But for right now, that's it. I wanted this to be it. And I thought about doing an homage cover to some other superhero, but it's like, no, you don't want to do that. You want to create a cover that maybe somebody else will want to parody, years down the line. And I think he may have definitely achieved this.
And that's hard. I'm sorry. Go back. Mm-hmm. The thing is, usually, the back will be turned, right, in these type of shots, or they'll do them from like a side view so you can see the mm-hmm. face of the character. I think this is really interesting because it's the front of the character, that he's lifting, the truck up from almost like underneath in the front, and I don't know how he pulled it off, because the mechanics of it would have just boggled my mind to try to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. This does come from, because we were originally going to do a typical Comicsgate format, 66 pages approximately, but I just couldn't. There was some logistics that I had to overcome. So this is I took the story, which I when I write for comics anyway, I usually write in 22 to 24 page increments anyway, because that's the sweet spot that the comic books industry used for many, many years. And so I said, well, this is a 3-act play, but so let's go ahead and give them an old-fashioned comic book experience at 24 pages. And I think we did a really great job with this first issue in particular. It's not some sort of mystery box format like, say, Yaira or something like that, where you don't know what the bleep is going on. Sorry, what the fuck is going on until the last 4 pages. This one, when you get done reading this first issue, you will know exactly who this character is, what his situation is, and you'll get a taste of what's to come. And that's how comics used to be written they used to be written where you were satisfied with the story content of your purchase. You weren't just buying one chapter in a longer story, right?
You know why comics were written that way is because they weren't sure there was going to be another one. You know what I mean? So they pretty much had to catch you, the reader, and get them excited with like 22 pages, and so on and so forth. So they were pretty much written to do that. Now with the longer formats and things like that, they can play at being a little bit more coy or clever with the story. But I think it is refreshing to go back to that, like just catch them, get them in, explain what it is, and then just tell great stories.
Yeah. So as you can see, we kind of give you the character in shadow. Yes, you did see them, see him on the cover, so you already kind of know what he looks like. But when we wrote the story, I just decided, look, I'm not going to give you a full reveal in the story until towards the end. So that's why he's in silhouette here.
What is he drinking?
That is a keg of beer that fell out of this AMC.
Oh, out of the back there. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. He drinks it, and so we've got shades of the Crusher. I don't know if you're familiar with pro wrestling history at all. The Crusher was a Wisconsin pro wrestler that always carried a keg of beer out to the ring with him, like he was going to drink it, after the match. He was sort of the Stone Cold Steve Austin of his day. So the shades of that. It wasn't, when Dillard drew this, he didn't know that, but that he did achieve that, I think. But that's another thing. There's a lot of AMC cars in this comic because that's a Wisconsin, car company, or was. We've got okay. So this is the cover. This is the one homage cover that I was going to use initially, and this is an homage cover of Incredible Hulk 314 by John Byrne. The original had the Hulk in the center, surrounded by his most iconic foes, and I thought, let's do this. And then I changed my mind. I said, you know what, this is a great image. We're going to include this in the comic, so you will get this as a sort of bonus preview of things to come. And so we've got a number of things that he'll be facing in future adventures, all of which have been written by me already. You've got the Thunderbird in the upper left-hand corner. Now, interesting story, because John Dillard is from the American Southwest. In California, when he hears the term Thunderbird, he thinks of a pterodon. So he didn't draw a bird, he drew a pterodon. So I said, okay, let's run with that. That's great. The lower left-hand corner is our version of a monster from Rhinelander, Wisconsin, called the Hodag. If you were to look it up online, you'd see this menacing demonic figure in their town square. They got a great big statue honoring the Hodag, and so our version is bipedal. But we also have the Beast of Bray Road in the lower right-hand corner, which is basically a dog man, which is kind of like a werewolf, except it doesn't turn into a human. It's that way all the time. And then we have his love interest, Heidi Blackhawk, in the female position there up there. You can see sort of a tribal girl with cut off jeans. And I just decided, this is a great piece. I like it, but it's not going to be the cover, so it'll be a bonus image in the back. But we have some other art that John Dillard did. The Demi-Foot is able to scale buildings, and although he doesn't do it the way Spider-Man does, as you can see, there's some wear and tear that the building has to endure when he does it. And just some great Bernie Wrightson style images here as well. He and both John and I are big fans of the work of Bernie Wrightson, his pen and ink, his line work, his hatching, all that. And so that's what we have here. And we've got a number of different tiers with different things on them. They include T-shirts and the Jumbo Javelin trading card here, where this was actually John's first time illustrating the character. So that's why he looks a tad different than in other images. He's being refined along the way. Our logo T-shirt. We even have a lunchbox if you're so inclined. We have a tier that includes a lunchbox, or actually multiple tiers then that include a lunchbox, and it'll look very much like this. This is just a mock-up, but yep, we're launching tomorrow evening And I was very happy to find out this morning that Ethan Van Sciver will be hosting the launch on his channel. So go ahead and check that out. And I don't know who else will show up. Maybe John Dillard will show up. We don't know, but we'll find out.
It looks fantastic. It looks really good. I dig the character, and there's some really nice drawings in there. Dillard has killed it on that book, and so yeah, best of luck. Can they sign up now? Can they?
You can sign up now if you want, or just tune in to Comics Pro Secrets tomorrow night, or just link, save the link. I mean, you can click the join mailing list right here and join the mailing list. We have a number of lovely tiers. I reluctantly included a digital tier here for $8 because several people twisted my arm and chewed me out for not having one in the other campaign for it. So, but it's there for the people who don't like a lot of clutter in their lives, or if you're in Europe and you want to be able to read it eventually. And the first issue cost is $15. I mean, that's the cost of a Whopper combo meal over at Burger King these days. I mean, so for the cost of a Whopper, a Whopper, fries, and Coke, you can have the first issue. So.
Yeah, it looks good. Sorry. And also, you guys, you'd be supporting two really, really talented creators, but also a new platform, which is Fund My Comic, which is great. And the CG people, the CG guys, have been really trying to, help build that thing. Was it Stone? Was it Matt Stone?
Luke Stone.
Luke Stone. Yeah. Sorry.
And okay. That's the other really great thing about Fund My Comic is when I had, because as many of you know, I had an Indiegogo campaign last year. The campaign on Indiegogo wasn't as good as this one, and in terms of like the things we offered. And if I had a problem with Indiegogo, I would submit, an email. I'd wait 3 or 4 days, and I'd get in touch with some junior adjutant that gave me a boilerplate letter, Whereas with Luke Stone, I just, hey, Luke, I got a problem with this. He gets back to me. The guy who runs the site gets back to me in little old me. I'm not Mike Barron or anything, and he gets back to me in short order, and it's just a better experience.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, we're building all this stuff from ground up, so go support not just Demifoot when it launches tomorrow, but go check out the other books that are on Fund My Comic. And I work so slow, especially these days. And I just want to do so much more because I want to put stuff up on My Comic, the platform. And there's all these things I want to do. But I got to get things under control before I go on to the next thing. And it's really, really tempting, though. But yeah, so good luck with that. I think it's gonna kill tomorrow. And getting support from Ethan and the CG guys is great. So anyway, I wanted to do this, like close out with this. Have you guys seen these Avengers Doomsday trailers? And what do you think? I have 2 of them here that I can show, but I want to hear what you guys think of this stuff.
Todd, do you want to go first, or should I? You're muted, by the way.
Todd, come on.
I guess I'll go first. Okay, all right. Okay, so, for me, the MCU pretty much ended at the end of Infinity War. I didn't even enjoy... Endgame concluded the story, but for me, the MCU was already over at that point because of all the changes that have been permanent changes. And it's been nothing but a cluster ever since. I mean, there's been a couple of really, good things. Werewolf by Night Halloween special was outstanding, and why we haven't gotten more of that, I don't know why. But no, these trailers. Okay, it's great that they're bringing Steve Rogers back, if they're bringing him back in a good way. I don't trust these guys. Is he going to come back as Captain Hydra? I mean, is he going to be, what is he going to be? We don't know yet. And it's and then the Thor one seems okay, but I mean, each trailer I'm getting progressively less interested in.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, they're showing all kinds of like, oh, well, this guy, they're like really personal moments, like, oh, he's a father. Oh, he, like Thor he's got like, I got to come back for one last whatever. And the Thor one, to be honest, is the best one that I've seen so far. But I had to play this. I'm going to play this one, and I got to see what you guys think of this thing.
I've lost everyone that matters to me.
I don't care.
The king has his duties.
So is this supposed to be like the oceans dried up or something like? What is this?
No idea.
Prepare our people.
And I'm sorry, this guy never worked his name or it's ridiculous.
I couldn't stand Namor at all. I mean, talk about taking a character that already was very different from Aquaman, even though they have a lot of the same, qualities. Just adding this American theme, theme to him, and changing him from being, Greek, inspired and Canadian. The guy, again, in the comic book, the guy's name is Namor Mackenzie. He's the son of an Atlantean woman and a Scottish Canadian guy.
Yeah.
And to turn him into something totally different. Well, he's got a freaking bone in his nose. I mean, what the fuck?
It's weird, yeah.
For the afterlife. I have mine.
They have to team her up with that big dude because he's the coolest aspect to any of the Black Panther stuff right now.
Baku.
That guy right there, that Baku.
Is that the guy? Is his name William Dukes? Is that who that is?
Yeah. The character in the comics, yes, his name is M'Baku, but he goes by I think White Gorilla or whatever. That's he was a villain of the Black Panthers.
Right.
And,
okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so I think we know who he's talking to. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the joke. He's from whatever, and Ben's from Yancey Street.
Yeah.
Ben, Yancey Street between Broome and Grand.
Between Broome and
I hate that
Grand.
voice. I hate that voice.
Did you say you hate it?
I hate that voice. Ben Grimm's voice should be gravelly because
You
that's
know
what
what?
he looks
You know
like.
what? I'm sorry. I don't really say it a lot because a lot of people like the voice. I don't like the voice either. It makes him seem stupid.
Yeah. Sounds like a douche.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, she shouldn't make it very long in the new movie because she's just this little girl.
Yeah. I kind of want her to go back to being just Siri, and then because there's already calls now. Okay, we're over Chadwick's death. It's now time to recast T'Challa and get T'Challa back in there. Plenty of great actors could do it. I know we were all heartbroken when he died, especially the way he died. But they should never have killed off the character in the MCU. They should have just waited a bit, mentioned him, and then eventually unveiled the new actor.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be the first time they've done stuff like that. I don't know why Hollywood, like for some actors they'll do certain things, and for others they won't. It's like what was the guy who played the Joker? It's like, well, we're not going to do Joker movies anymore. And clearly, that third Batman movie, the Chris Nolan version, it was a Joker movie. There was Joker aspects to it, but they just didn't do it. Because they didn't want to be disrespectful or whatever. And I'm like, why is that disrespectful?
Right? Yeah. That
Wakandans. And the Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doom. It's counting down. Hey, Todd, they're counting down.
You're right.
Yeah.
Aren't you excited?
Yeah, the X-Men one was probably
little
the
bit.
most exciting one. Oh, sorry, Todd.
I'm a little excited because I'd like to just get past this point where we're all going, they've done nothing but flop lately. You know what I mean? Just do something good.
It's amazing what they'll do when they actually need to make money.
For sure. And I'm not a big fan of like cramming, all kinds of ancillary characters in if they don't really have, because they did do that with Endgame, let's face it. A bunch of girls jump out of a hole, and there's ancillary stuff going on there, just for like ahas, and you get to see Wasp throw a great punch or whatever. Have it be something that has to be done. You need to see that character, and I need to see this fight. Those things really grab fans when you're like, Hulk versus Thing, no way. You know what I mean? That's something wrong.
Well, as long as there's emotional context to it and there's proper setup, like spectacle, just have spectacle, it's just hollow, right? So you could have every character in the Marvel universe in a lineup and fighting, and if there's no real context to it, or the fight feels forced or whatever, then it's not going to really connect with you. And I think that's what these executives do now, at least the last 10 years, or however long it's been since the Endgame and all that other stuff, is they just throw spectacle. It's just like, well, it's a spectacle, but they're not building anything emotionally, and you don't really care about the characters. I think they tried with Fantastic Four, and I think if Fantastic Four was kind of in the middle of something that was more successful, you know what I mean? Like you would have thought of it differently. But since it was just kind of a one-off that was pretty good, but squeezed in the middle of a bunch of crap, you just kind of discount it. And so I think that they got a lot of work to do to try to build this thing back up. And I think they're trying, like, we need to do it fast, right? So they're just like putting everything into one thing, and they're doing it fast. And I just don't think that it's going to work, because just look at DC. Like Snyder, they had a plan, and that Justice League movie was going to be a two-parter, and they were going to have like more introduction to the movie. But then the executives like, no, we need a Justice League movie, and we need it now, right? So then all of a sudden, what's this guy supposed to do? He's got all these plans. He's building this stuff up, and now, boom, Justice League is formed, and then the audience is supposed to feel connected to it. Well, they've had a decade of Marvel Universe movies. They have expectations, and you can't do stuff like that anymore. Maybe if Marvel Universe didn't exist, if cinematic universe didn't exist, and you did that, like DC did that, then maybe it would be cool. But we've seen examples of it done way better. So if you can at least hit that bar or best it, then what's the point? And I think that Marvel's like that right now, where they're just kind of like, they're putting everything in this movie and thinking that it's going to have impact. And the problem is, I'm with you, Darren. The last, the first 10, whatever it was called, like, what was the end game or whatever it was, when Cap gave his shield to and all that stuff, and then the time travel thing. I was just like, what are you guys doing? Like, this doesn't even feel like a movie that's part of this universe. Like introducing time travel in the 12th hour or the 11th hour of your story, it's absurd. And also, I've been doing comics for a while now, and I know introducing time travel especially in this type of story at that moment, is just it's it's wrong, man. Because there's so much you have to set up properly for it to work, and they did not do it. I mean, if you look at like all the stuff that has been a cinematic success, like Terminator or Back to the Future, these things, they had very specific rules that they set up, and they did the 3 movies with Back to the Future, and then they did 2 movies with Terminator. Everything else after that, I mean, they were screwing the pooch on. But that's my point. My point is, you can't have people being able to go back and forth willy-nilly. You can't do that. There's a lot of other things that you need to set up, but that's not what this story was about. The story wasn't about going and having Tony Stark see his parents before he was born. And all these weird like what if scenarios kind of happening. It's like, who cares? Like, if this maybe happened midway or earlier on in their setup, then you go, well, maybe. And then they just create all of this problem for later in the storyline with the time travel, because it's so confusing. They kind of explained it, but not really in any kind of satisfactory way. People are confused. And then all the stuff that came after, they were like kind of delving into this time aspects. And I think they're doing that with this movie too. And it's like, you should have just ditched it. You should have just got rid of it. It's like, now Tony Stark is Doctor Doom. Intellectually or as a creative idea, it's like, well, that's kind of an interesting idea. But do you think that's going to play out cinematically with everything that you've built in the past? I don't think that's going to play out very well.
No, they're playing fast and loose. I mean, there was a quote I saw on X today that did not bode well. Somebody asked one of the Russo brothers, are they going to, in the film, emphasize Doctor Doom's rivalry with Reed Richards? And the Russo brother looked at him and said, there's a rivalry? So I mean, they're using this Doctor Doom that we're going to see is apparently nothing like the one from the comics. Once again, because they never seem to want to do Doctor Doom correctly. Doctor Doom was one of the inspirations for Darth Vader. That's how good that character was. And yet, they want to give him powers. They want to, make him made of metal, that he's not really wearing a mask, that kind of stuff. Or in this case, they're making him a variant, apparently, of Tony Stark. Just an evil Iron Man who also knows magic. And it's just,
and that's the only thing you can do, because you have to address the fact that it's the same actor. Like, you have to, because I heard early on they were kind of like, oh no, he's not Tony Stark at all. And I'm like, how do you do that? That's even a worse idea. Like, he has to be somehow connected to Tony Stark, like a variant of Tony Stark or whatever. Otherwise, it's like, why are you even using that actor? You know what I mean? Like, well, what's the point of it at all? It's weird. And then they're speculating, right, that Chris Evans is going to be like, he's going to be an evil Captain America.
Yeah, which nobody wants to see. They want those old characters back, preferably with the old actors. But I mean, the audiences will forgive if their replacements do an adequate job. They will. Right. Just like James Bond, right, or any other, like Superman, or any other character.
Yeah. I think the Bond franchise was probably done the best, where they like the early stuff before the I forget the actor now. Daniel Craig. Yeah. It was just kind of like matter of fact, right? Well, here's another adventure of 007. You know what I mean? Like, it had kind of references, vaguely and things like that, but it didn't directly tie it into it.
It reminded me of when you're reading your favorite comic book and the creative team changes. Yes, it's kind of like, okay, so now you've got this new. It's the Hulk, but he's or Superman or whatever. But he looks different because a new artist is drawing him. But all the stuff that happened before sort of becomes a vague history. Marvel. Right. That's kind of how they handled it, and I think that was one of the secrets to that 007 success was they used that concept of
They said one. I saw this whole documentary on it, and I think they kind of jumped the shark, but it wasn't. It wasn't fatal. Where they had a new actor play Bond, and he referenced the old Bond, and they said they barely got away with it. But hindsight, they wish they had never tried to do something like that.
Yeah, George Lazenby, when he made his one film, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, in the opening, he asks a girl on the beach, and she turns him down or something, and then she solders off, and he looks at the camera and goes, "That never happened to the other guy." And
that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was.
And it was taken as an in-joke.
You got a great memory. Yeah, it's too inside. It's like it's self-referential, and it's just it's not. Some Hollywood stop doing this stuff. But here's the one that you thought was pretty good. Then Doomsday trailer.
Yeah, because sorry.
For us all.
I'm gonna do my my Patrick. It's Magneto. Oh, somebody's got to clean up this mess. Who did this? I'm sorry. When's the cleaning lady come in?
That's all I know for sure.
Ooh, what is this? For gifted youth.
The question isn't.
The question isn't. Those are gunshots in those books. Something happened here, I'm thinking.
Are you prepared to die?
Are you prepared to die?
The question is, who will you be when you close your eyes?
What? Wait a minute. I think that's Magneto. Oh, man. Had to get gay, didn't it? Hey, Todd, what do you think about this gayness right here?
It's accurate to the character. No, I don't know. It's accurate to the person.
That's a good start.
I was going to say there is a long-standing rumor that Patrick Stewart and
Ian
Magneto
McKellen
actor there are a little more than friends, but both. Patrick Stewart's married and has had kids and stuff like that, so a lot of people dismiss it. But
it wouldn't be the
anyway,
first.
Anyway, I really haven't chimed in about this trailer, but there's a lot of this doesn't. I don't know. Does this do anything for you that they're bringing back these legacy kind of characters?
No, because they've already done it. They did it
Right.
in the Deadpool.
Right. Now, if for instance, you have these characters and then Magneto were to turn on everybody, now we're talking something, because you really don't have they seem to find a bad villain. Now, I know we're heading towards Doom, and I'm good with that. But if Doom, I don't know, what if Magneto infiltrated Doom's little circle or sphere, and then he was the one to be the savior or something? That might be cool, but I don't know. Yeah. It is what it is, and they're going to do what they're going to do, and they don't listen to me or you or even Darren. And we just get what we get. We just hope for a good movie, right? Entertainment. That's what it's all about. That's why I don't really come on here and espouse my dislike or distaste for anything. Because at the end of the day, it's just like, did it entertain me? And will I watch it again? And there's a lot of things I've rewatched and watched again, and She-Hulk wasn't one of them.
She's been stricken from continuity now. Apparently, Tatiana Maslany is never coming back to Marvel. So if we do get a She-Hulk, it'll be a new version of She-Hulk that was not related to that show. Which
Well, she said some horrible things about Disney and Marvel, so I wouldn't have her back either. But there is one question I have for you guys, okay? Because this thing's called Avengers Doomsday, okay? So as far as we know, there really isn't an Avengers, like a formal Avengers team. They've hinted at it in Thunderbolts and stuff like that. So they're going to have to, because the Avengers have to be the heroes. It's an Avengers movie. It's not an X-Men movie. It's not a Namor movie. It's not a Black Panther movie. So I wonder how they're going to, if they're going to say, oh, well, these guys are not now all Avengers. Do you think that's what they're going to do? Is they're just going to say like, oh, well, the X-Men are Avengers now and Namor's an Avengers now?
No.
You can thank Brian Michael Bendis and the editor that let him do it for doing that. When he brought Wolverine and Spider-Man and Sentry onto the Avengers team, Sentry would have been fine, but I hate that character, but he would have been fine. But having Wolverine and Spider-Man join the Avengers basically made the Avengers the Justice League of Marvel. So in the DC universe, pretty much every superhero is a member of the Justice League. But over in Marvel, we have these little fiefdoms, and I think they might just be, for the purposes of this story, doing away with all that and saying that the X-Men are now Avengers too.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Like, like at first somehow they're going to have to rebuild the team, and it looks like that's kind of what these little vignettes are. It's like everybody's kind of gearing up to join the Avengers or whatever it's going to be. That's kind of what I'm taking from this, so they all have kind of moved on with their lives or whatever. And I don't know, this isn't even the timeline that, they've been showing in the actual Avengers film. So I don't know how they're even going to do this, but, they've done it with Deadpool. So who knows? I love you. I'm thinking to
myself, we have to watch Patrick Stewart's Professor X get killed again.
Yeah, exactly.
He died in Wolverine, that last Wolverine movie, and then he died again in friggin' Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. He got his neck broken, and now it's like, how many times are you going to see this guy die?
So they should not have even made that last Doctor Strange movie. One, it wasn't a Doctor Strange movie, and two, all of that stuff was just like, we're going to do this for shock value. We're going to do this for shock value. It barely worked as a narrative. Like the story barely hung together,
So can I interrupt for a minute here? So Wonder Man, right? Wonder Man had one really great year in comics. And it was really good. I mean, but when I was not interested at all because I'm not big on race swapping. But when I saw the meta aspect that they showed in the trailer, I was like, oh, I get it. It's sort of an actor within a like a show. You know what I mean? And when I saw that, I thought, no, that's interesting. That's, definitely not a take that I would have went for, but it does make that character more interesting because he's not interesting at all.
Right.
I like Simon Williams' Wonder Man from the comics. In the 80s, he's one of my favorite Avengers, and I wanted him to have his own ongoing series, but it wasn't to be. So I am not at all interested in that TV show, but I guess I'll hear about it.
Well, let's try to wrap this up here. This is the coolest part that I've seen so far.
And what makes it cool is it's a Jim Lee era Cyclops outfit, I think.
Are those Sentinels? Because there's like giant feet. Are those Sentinels there? Could be.
Jim Lee, and I guess also the animated series version of Cyclops' outfit.
Yeah. I drew that suit in X-Men 12 and 13. But yeah, I think those are those got to be, right? Sentinel feet?
Yep. I mean, unless they're Doombots or something. Who knows?
So it looks like they're saying that Cyclops is the one that at least finished destroying the school.
There's a whole bunch of parody trailers they're making of this where they show like the 1970s TV show Captain America, and then it says, Steve Rogers, 1978 will return in Avengers Doomsday or something. It's just hilarious.
What was that guy's name? Reb something, right? With he had the motorcycle helmet on that had
the plexiglass shield that went onto his bike as the windshield, and it was And they even had like like old footage of Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man. It's a Nicholas Hammond or will return as whatever.
Well, I'm gonna do. I got a few people that are talking about black and white, so I'm gonna try to enlighten and show some of this stuff. So I also listened to the Bros drunk and backed again 237. Okay, Nate, let's see what's going on here. This should be fun. All right, black and white sharing. All right, so this is Black and White Volume 3, Sins of the Father. So we're at 37,929. So 423 backers. Let me hit refresh and see if Nate, the drunk Nate, came through. No, I don't see any. Let me see. That's the same. Maybe he backed one of the other guys because he was drunk. But anyways, yeah, this is Black and White, Sins of the Father. So this is the new book. This is New Passion, and I'm working on. And this issue, we actually 3 and 4 are going to get into Reed Blackett's past with MI10. And his father, so the whole spy thing, we're gonna jump into, and we're gonna try to tell an interesting story, and basically why Reed left the MI10 and all those shenanigans. So we're gonna get into that with Sins of the Father, explore what happened to Alexander Blackett, Reed's father, and things like that. So, but I do have to assure you guys, we're gonna have the same amount of action, adventure, robot decimation, and we're going to be throwing in a little bit more overt supernatural. So we're gonna bring in Lord Fakin, who's an immortal, and his partner in crime, Juju, who is a Valdoon priestess. She uses high tech and magic to raise the dead. So these aren't just normal zombies or whatever. These are high-tech zombies. So we're going to get into all kinds of fun stuff. So high-tech meets, zombies, with a little like kind of superhero adventuring going on, spy thriller, sci-fi adventure. It's got a little bit of everything, you guys. So anyways, this is the passion right now. This is what I work on every day. This is the book that you guys have been helping finance. So you're giving me the time to basically create this book, and I do appreciate. So thanks to each and every one of you guys that have backed and that have supported. I do appreciate it. And also just know, there's always time to back. And if you're still on the fence, let me see. In the updates, I posted some new pages. So you guys have been asking, like, even in the chat here, some new pages. So let's see. Here we go. They're going to be kind of small, I think, but hopefully big enough. So here's some of the pages from the Volume 3, Sins of the Father. So we're all over the place. We got the jungles here. We got voodoo. We got archaeologists, kind of an Indiana Jones character here. We got.
I tell you, Juju is my favorite character here. I'm sorry, I just.
Actually, thank you. One of the reasons why my wife and I did this story or brought this story back is because there was enough of you that remembered the original story that I put out through Image Comics, and we did one issue of the ongoing before the industry kind of collapsed, and Juju was introduced in that first volume, and so some of you were saying like, we need to see more of her, bring her back, and so I redesigned the costume and everything. I think she looks pretty cool, and it kind of fits her character a little bit more, I think.
Let me ask you a question. It's kind of a side question, but did you ever have a character that you were thinking about? If they let me do this, I'm going to introduce this character, whether it be DC or Marvel, but for now, I'm going to keep it in my back pocket. Is there any character that you have, or even her that you could say, oh, that about, I thought about her, almost brought her, I almost thought, hey, we should do this idea or whatever. Anybody like that you have in your back?
Well, there was a time. This was like when the Image Comics was riding high, and I was talking to Eddie Berganza, and this is a young Eddie Berganza before the Eddie Berganza, that everybody doesn't like. But anyways, editor at DC Comics, he was very, very like open. He wanted to bring in new talent and try different things at DC Comics, and he asked me. He said, I'd like to bring Black and White into DC. Would you be willing to do like some kind of crossover or something? And if so, what character would you want to cross over with? And obviously I said Batman. Batman's one of my favorite all-time characters. And so we actually did move forward with a Black and White Batman story. Things being what they are, it didn't quite work out. We couldn't get all the details, finalized and stuff like that. And I think Eddie was young. He was just starting, and I think he might have overrepresented himself. Like he might not have had the power that he thought he did or was hoping he did. So it didn't happen. But that kind of still kind of haunts me. And recently, last couple of years, I was asked by Dynamite to do a Green Hornet Black and White crossover, and Black and White is definitely come out of my love of those characters, the Green Hornet and Kato. So that would have been really awesome. And I did some prelims for covers for the Green Hornet and Black and White crossover. So that's when people lost their mind, went after Dynamite and was trying to get people canceled and threatened Nick Barucci. So it didn't happen. So I've come close. I've come close to a couple of these things.
Yeah.
And so here's we got some more robot action, some violence, some aggressive behavior towards these robots. One of the things I like the most about robots is you can just destroy them. They're not human, so you can just like eviscerate them and rip them to shreds. So it was always one of my best, the best things about the X-Men is when they would go in the danger room before holograms and all that other stuff. They were actually like robots, and they would dismantle them. Especially Wolverine could use his claws in the danger room. So that's kind of these ideas here. And so Whitney's true to character where she has very little patience for things. So she's a little overly aggressive at times. And so here's a shot of Reed. And this is what really starts the whole mystery with Reed's father and the MI10 stuff. Like what happened to Alexander. And it starts with his gravesite being dug up and he's missing. So that's kind of the entry point for the story proper.
Yeah. And, zombies work the same way as robots. You can slash them up.
Oh, exactly. These are by design, Darren. These are all by design. There's gonna be some aggression taken out in these issues. So here's Reed full on in action here. I really like it. It's weird because it's just a silhouette panel, but this third panel where he's kind of going around the corner and he's following this car and the car is skidding. I really like it, and it colored up really nice. The color work is fantastic by Brian. And then Reed smacks the car, flips it over. I thought that all this undercarriage stuff of this car came out pretty cool. Like I just made it all up. Like I was like, I'm kind of channeling Kirby, It just has to be relatively convincing, that it's the undercarriage of a car. So it's just a bunch of BS kind of just strewn together. But I think it's pretty convincing, and I like the way it came out. So then we have the car is just destroyed. Reads they have these internal links where they're not so much talking to each other as like they're like their brains are connected. Like they have these links, and so it's like a thought link. So they don't have to speak out loud. So I thought it would be like the ultimate spy kind of thing. Like if you had a team, where they could talk internally, and wouldn't have to speak out loud and give their locations away or whatever. So I thought this was pretty cool. So we're bringing all that stuff back, and of course, that she can run. They can run really fast. So she's she's zipping past this car in traffic and things like that. So so see, these are some of the new pages, and here's Reed in action. And a lot of robot battles. I like this down shot. There's you can see on the in the store it says the Kings. The Kings.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because I noticed a few things, right?
Yes.
And I really like how this guy's coloring the pages I'm seeing. Have you thought about giving him the cover and having him recolor that?
You don't like the way the color on the cover looks?
I don't remember saying that.
Why would I have it recolored?
There's some use of white that Kyle always does. That I
see. Here comes the truth. Okay, I'm gonna find this. Okay, let's do this.
White to get for something, even metallic. Okay.
Okay, so here's Kyle Ritter on my cover.
I'm sorry. Let's back out of this. We'll talk about it later. I don't
okay.
No, because honestly, no.
Did you forget we were live?
I tried to just ask, and then you just push me. You fucker.
No, I sincerely want to know.
We will. I will, but I don't want to. It's not something to do in front of everybody.
Okay, I understand. Okay, here. Okay, so can you see this cover?
I can see it. I've looked at it. I've studied
it. Can you see this cover? Can you see this cover?
Yeah.
This is Brian. This is Brian here.
Okay, and it works with the style. I don't think you would. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just wanted to show like Brian is a kick-ass dude, and he does some killer cover work.
So you thought you had an opportunity for a Green Hornet and Kato team up, and also a team up with a DC characters, right?
Right.
First off, it's Green Hornet and Black and White. Kato's already there, but he doesn't get like second billing.
He doesn't get top billing.
He's not part of the title. Okay.
No.
Why is that, Todd? No, never mind. Don't answer that, Todd.
No,
Don't get in trouble.
I would not even know who Green Hornet was if it wasn't for him.
Okay, but no. What? Let's say there was an opportunity to team them up with a Marvel property. Who would you go with? Cloak and Dagger, or?
Well, if I could do Black and White in the Marvel universe, I don't care. I would do Wolverine. I would have to, right? Like
right.
that's the character, man.
Yeah.
Like I could see it logically working story wise, like Cloak and Dagger, or even like Punisher or something like that. But I think it'd have to be for me.
You know how they have this affiliate program with Marvel and comic shops and other Midtown Comics, or you know how they have that, right? Like if you're an artist, like the Mark Brooks covers aren't really Marvel covers; they're
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
If there was something like that where they said you got to go through all the different steps, and if if we get to the point where we're willing to meet with you, we will do that. But you got it's almost a pay to play program. Would you?
I think Billy Tucci just did that, right? With Daredevil, or was it Wolverine or something like that? And
with She, or
with She, and I think it was kind of grandfathered in though. So I don't know if he did exactly what you're talking about, but I think it was just a cover. It was like a She Wolverine or She Daredevil cover.
Okay,
that's not a bad idea, Todd.
No, it's not, because they're. I'm guessing they're going to open this up at some point, where they'll want some control, obviously, and they'll want to be able to say we approve, but it's not it's not a stupid idea. It's not far fetched. It's just it may take a more detriment to the industry for them to get there.
I'd say I was on better terms with DC, so I think if I was to do something like that, I'd probably have a better chance doing it at DC than Marvel. But you're planting some seeds here, Mr. Mulrooney. So let me see. I have some other stuff that you guys were asking to see some pages. So here's a better shot at some of these. And I do have a color page that I can show off as well. So this is what black and white is going to look like, you guys. These are the line art here. So we got this one. So you can see like the city's kind of future, like the cars are kind of future tense, not contemporary. So this is in a not too distant future, but not even like a real timeline. I kind of like the Star Wars thing where they don't really say it's Earth, or they don't say the year or anything like that. It just kind of is. And so it's kind of a timeless universe. And so Whitney's using her staff as a what do they call those? Pole stick.
Pole
What
vault.
are those? What's
pole
that?
Vaulting.
Pole
She's
vault.
pole vaulting with it.
She's pole vaulting. Thank
you.
you.
Can vault my pole anytime.
Whoa, she's not real. But anyways, the robot anticipates it. He swerves. She misses, and then who's there to save her? Boom, Mr. Reed Blackett, aka Black. So he catches her, and not only catches her, but gets onto the roof of the ambulance, which is where she wanted to be.
Can you? You can't make it a little bigger, can you? Does he catch her and he's grabbing her? I mean, he's got to be
no, his hand's like right on her back, like.
You missed
the other
the
one's on her ankle, so to speak. Yeah,
you missed an opportunity.
He's being a gentleman, Todd.
Well, Todd, where would he be grabbing her?
In her
booty. In her crotch. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Her T or her A.
He should have grabbed her and done a roll with her, and then
Well, oh my gosh, there is a scene like that later.
Oh, okay.
There is some kind of romantic saving.
There you go.
There you go. So she's got this robot in a headlock. I always think it's funny when you get a robot in a headlock. And then Reed's tossing that one robot off the roof. This is a moving vehicle, so they're on the top of that ambulance right now. So then this robot's like, you need to go away. So he's grabbing her by whatever Todd wanted. And he knocked her off. He knocked her. Oh, also this ambulance isn't on the ground at this point. It's actually elevated. So these cables, they're attached to a helicopter. So there's some crazy shit going on in this issue. So then she's like, well, if I'm gonna fall to my death, then I'm gonna take this thing out with me. And so she's still punching it as she's going down. And so then she flips around the staff, and just as she hits the pavement, she just does this thing in. I thought this was a great shot here. Came out pretty cool. So, you guys, this is Black and White, Sins of the Father, Volume 3. If you like what you see, back today, If you've already backed, we got some T-shirts. We got some other stuff that we introduced a couple months back. So you can back a shirt. And we are so close to the next stretch goal. So 40K is the next stretch goal. So let's keep it going. Thanks to everybody that supported this project. Couldn't do it without you. And also Darren Wagner has his labor of love, which is going to launch tomorrow on Ethan Van Sciver's channel, and that's Fund My Comic. You can sign up right now. There are links in the chat here. Go click on there. Support Darren. And Todd, you got a parting shot? You got anything?
No, I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
You just your august presence.
Oh no, I do have something. One thing.
He always does this.
I know, I do. I kind of do that. Like I act like
I got nothing, and then it's like, wait, I got this thing.
But I want to say thank you to Randy Howe, who's done an amazing job of doing what he does. He's great. Yeah,
Randy's kick ass, and you guys should listen to Randy when he says these things.
And you should listen to Todd when he gives a parting shot.
Oh yeah, always listen. Only when Todd's saying a parting shot, though, because the rest of the show, you really shouldn't listen too much to him, because Todd is really full of poo.
Oh my God, I was on fire this show. Fuck you.
Yeah, hot fiery poo. You were on hot fiery poo, and don't think that cuss word didn't hurt me. It hurt me right here, and a little bit right here, and a lot right over here. Your words hurt, Todd.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They really do. You should have aimed that at Darren, because Darren's the one that has the most contempt for you, more than any of us.
True.
I thought it was
so maybe next week, be prepared. Especially if Clint's not here.
Well, we can only hope.
Because we're all
He's in
going to
Minnesota, right? He's in Minnesota, in crazy land right now.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah, we got to make sure that Clint's okay. Yeah, because he's in Minnesota right now. He's probably in front of some kind of SUV, thinking he can stop it, like some of those superhero.
Wait a second. We got a guy in Minnesota, but don't we have a guy in Michigan too?
Where's Bob? Is Bob in? Bob's not in.
I think so. He talks about how fucking cold it is there.
Huh.
There's a lot of other cold places, but John Malin. John Malin's in.
He is.
Yeah.
So he's probably protesting right now.
No. Well, I tell you, Wisconsin is for the longest time we have Madison, Wisconsin, which was described as Moscow West, since the 60s, very left wing. And right now, everybody in Wisconsin is looking over the Mississippi River, going at Minnesota, going, "Whoa!" It's like,
Right.
That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, man. Well, it has been a blast hanging out with you guys. It's good to have Pontificators back. It's good to be able to hang out with Todd. Todd, you're always a blast. Really, sincerely, you're my brother, and I love hanging out with you. And Darren, the new guy, always bringing it. And don't forget Demi Foot tomorrow. So start getting your money, get your backing, and be prepared for a killer book, which is going to launch tomorrow. And of course, Black and White. Get out and back that bad boy. I couldn't do this without you. So thanks again, and we will see you next week on another exciting Pontificators. Take